Welcome one and all to our LEGO Racers Grand Prix. We've got a wonderful lineup of drivers on the starting line, but it is up to you who wins. We will be illustrating 4 racers, each with their own personality, skills, and stats, taking on some of the most difficult tracks ever conceived. And it is our fabulous audience's job to determine which one of them will take the grand trophy. Without further ado, let's go to Ty, who's down on the racetrack, interviewing our contestants. Thanks, Ty. I'm standing here in the pits interviewing our contestants, and it seems like we've got quite a lineup going on here. Our first driver is going to be Participant Y. Participant Y is an alien, and they are very afraid of people finding that out. So they created a clever disguise to hide what they are. They drew it themselves, but don't mention it around them because they're super insecure about their art and you might hurt their feelings. Y is extremely shy and super nervous all the time, but very good at driving. This is because they use practicing their skill as a way to avoid having to interact with other people, and it's very effective. Their reaction time and reflexes are second to none, mainly because their anxiety causes them to live in basically a constant state of panic. Their car is not fast though. It would be, but part of its power is taken up by the shield they put up around themselves because they don't trust other people to respect personal bubbles. Y also tends to pick up blue power-ups, which shield you from road hazards and attacks from other players, which means that they are nigh untouchable. Participant Y is driver number 1. Our next racer is Zom Witch. Her name is what she is. She's a witch that got turned into a zombie by wishing to be a mother, but it accidentally backfired and the witch spell thought she said mummy, so turned her into that instead. So now to cope with not being a parent, she throws cartoon bombs at people. She is basically a lich and thought if she can't be a mother, she'll try being a grandmother instead. So she knits, she makes cookies, and pretends that her grandkids never visit. She's normally very sweet, but there's just something about being on the track and being behind the wheel that sends her off her literal rocker. She always hates the person directly ahead of her more than anything else in the world and will do anything to attack them or push them into a hazard. Her car is basically just a powder keg to facilitate this. She's crammed as much dynamite on there as she possibly can, so much so that there's no room for an engine, it just runs on magic. She's great at acceleration, which means she can recover from basically anything people throw at her in return, as well as track hazards, and she tends to pick up, you guessed it, all the red power-ups, which are all offensive. Everything from cannonballs, grappling hooks, to heat-seeking missiles, you name it, she's got a trigger finger for it. Zom Witch will be contestant number 2. The next racer is Caboose. Now, Caboose is dead, but he's not dead in the fun Zom Witch kind of way. He's dead in the boring way. See, he choked on a piece of ravioli one day, and then just got up the next morning like nothing was wrong. Caboose is not good at anything. He's not funny, he's not clever, he's not skilled, he's actually pretty pathetic. He's the fan favorite to throw tomatoes at, in fact. His name isn't even really Caboose, it's Paul, but people gave him the nickname Caboose for 2 reasons. Number 1, he's usually last, and number 2, he has a huge butt, like a really, really nice butt. And that's kind of the only reason people even keep him around, because they like looking at it. He even drives a car that looks like him. Business in the front and way too much party in the back. Caboose has middling stats all the way across and almost always ends up in last, but sometimes he gets lucky and pulls out a 3rd or maybe even a 2nd, but he's never in his life been first. He dreams though of being in first one day and becoming a champion, but thinks practice has nothing to do with winning and it's all about getting lucky, which unfortunately means he never will. He picks up anything he can find the other racers haven't, sometimes yellow, which puts road hazards for people behind him, and that literally never happens. So Caboose in here is racer number 3. Now last, and certainly not least, is Torpedo Dude. Now everybody loves Torpedo Dude. Nobody knows how he got his head stuck in a torpedo shell, but he did, and boy, he's rocking it like it's a fashion statement. He was raised in the jungles of Egypt and trained with the great submarines of Canada. He likes pizza, working out, and he finds wearing clothes an insult to the natural beauty of the human body. He's a pure instinct kind of guy, he's super photogenic, and every dog he's ever met absolutely adores him. Torpedo Dude loves to party and will party even if he loses. In fact, sometimes he wins a race because he's so anxious to get back to the celebration. He's also super courteous and polite, but some might even say too polite. If there's someone that's trying to get in front of him on the race, there's sometimes he'll just let them go ahead out of courtesy. He'll just hold the door open for them. He's also extremely prone to oversharing, so I'd advise against talking to him for too long. His car is insane. It's like 90% jet engine, and it runs on his telekinetic link to pizza. He's the only person crazy enough to drive a car like this. Everyone else is too scared, which means that his stats are all speed. If it isn't a straight line, he's not interested. Sometimes there's a turn coming and he'll just run straight into it just to make a statement, because agility, like his clothes, are an affront to nature. He picks up only the green power-ups, which means it's all boost. but boy, he really can't make a turn. Torpedo Dude is going to be racer number 4. So now, we have met all 4 of our contestants, and since they can't just drive in a circle, the next step is introducing our 4 tracks, which are slightly more complicated circles. The first race is a classic, Imperial Grand Prix. It is a good all-around track, long open stretches, a few corners, but only one track hazard. It's pretty easy to avoid. There's a shortcut that you need to open with a weapon, but once it's opened, anyone can use it. The next race is Desert Adventure Dragway, and it has probably the longest straight in the game, along with some shallow turns and pretty much no track hazards at all. But there are 2 shortcuts, and the better of the 2 shortcuts has a set of really tight turns, both of which you need to open with a weapon each time. The third race is Alien Rally Asteroid, and it has a lot of crazy hazards, like this alien ship that passes over here, and this electrical tower that zaps anyone that gets close. It's got some close quarter turns, meaning that there's a good chance racers are going to get tripped up on at least something. There's a shortcut here that you need to open with a weapon, like usual, but it stays open once someone uses it. The last race is Adventure Temple Trial, and it is all kinds of crazy. These 90-degree hairpins are super technical, and if you can't make a turn, it basically stops you in your tracks. Not to mention the shortcut here, in which you really need guts to make. The zapping road hazard, then the rolling stone disc hazard, then at the very end, there's this section that has a 1 in 3 chance of basically reversing your controls. This track is the great equalizer between everyone, and this is truly the final challenge. So the rest, my friends, is up to you. Who of our 4 racers do you think is going to win our circuit? Write your comment of who you think the winner of this Grand Prix will be, and let the race begin.